2015, I had broke up with my kid's mom, my ex. I stayed single for about 2 years straight. And I always knew that I would find the woman that would help me and assist me along the journey to get to my destination where I wanted to be, financially, spiritually, morally, just overall be the man that I could be, best man that I could be. I didn't know I was gonna get there. It wasn't looking promising because the dating pool, as we know, was looking real bad. So I dated for about 2 years, met a couple of women. Never have I let any of them meet my kids. And I remember vividly, I just kept having this thought in my mind saying, because me and my dad talked about it as like, become the greatest version of yourself, Matt. So that way, when the person that's for you do appear, you're 100% whole. You filled up. You don't need them. You just want to be with them. They're an asset to you. They're an add-on. And I don't want to have to need anybody. So I kept that in my mind. Get better at cooking. Get better at doing laundry. Get better at helping them with their homework. Be a better father. You got to take the role of two, the woman and the man, because she's been gone and left. The kid's mom been gone. She's been left, hit the streets, have fun, live her life. It's between her and God. And I'm doing what I got to do for these kids, and they were with me most of the time, 5 days, 7 days out the week. So, on the weekends, I have a little time to, hang out and date. I just kept telling myself, that ain't the one. I'm good, we're gonna have fun, but that's about it. And then suddenly, boom, when I stopped looking and I started investing into myself real hard, working out 5 days a week. I was going hard, working hard, doing what I gotta do, reading more, getting my mind together, reading a lot of books, getting closer to God. And it was just suddenly, boom, that's when I met my wife. It was almost like it was love at first sight. And it's not like it was just a pretty woman that I was just lusting after. It's kind of like that feeling you got inside, like, yeah, you were sent to me by God, I can tell. And I realized when my kids gravitated towards her, it was real, it was genuine. Here we are 8 years later, and along the journey, she helped me to grow a successful business. I took the role of a man, and she took her role as a female. Domesticated, sound mind, very feminine, loving and caring. Now, my purpose of saying this is, I made space for what God had for me in store. Everything that I wanted from that point on, I had to learn that ripple effect of that sign, that signal that you send out to the universe of, I'm making room for what God got for me. I'm not allowing anybody to say, if I would have locked in with one of them women back then when I was dating and kicking and talking to, I probably would have never met my wife, because I do believe that we all have blessings that's available to us. The things that you're seeking is actually seeking you, but it won't come in if you don't make room for it. So all that, I'm gonna stay with him until God, that's not how it works. You have to become the greatest version of you, because then you gotta ask yourself, and I gotta ask myself, would the woman that I would wanna be with this version of me? Or should I become my greatest version so that way I can get what I want? That I can be mentally sound, I can be spiritually sound, I can be physically strong, I can handle it. Some of us are asking for things right now, and I don't care what it is. I always say this, man, it could be just a bunch of different things. For instance, I wanted a truck, right? This truck cost me $100,000, a lot of money. And I didn't know how I was gonna get it, but every time I seen the truck, I just kept getting emotional. Like I was emotionally tied to the vehicle. It sounds crazy, but it was something about it. I felt like I fit. Like that's me right there. That's gonna be me. And then I thought back on what I did before, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna make space and get ready for this vehicle. I'm gonna get that vehicle. I'm gonna do all the research, see how much it costs. I'm gonna make room for that vehicle. I don't know how, but I'm gonna do it. And I had a number in mind. I needed $20,000 to make it possible. 20 grand. And that's with fear or bad credit. But at the time, I was building business credit. My business was growing. I said, okay, well, how about I take this 20,000 and go get this vehicle? And God said, no, we're gonna get you the vehicle, but watch how we're gonna do this. He put somebody in the car with me one day, told the gentleman what I was about to do. He said, it's nothing for you to get that car, but here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take that $20,000, we're gonna invest that $20,000 into another business. That business is gonna pay for the vehicle, and you're gonna get the vehicle with zero money down, and you're gonna get that vehicle under your business name, and you're gonna write that vehicle off every year for tax purposes. So it's like you get the vehicle for barely nothing. It was the smartest thing I ever did. And these are one out of the two or two out of the three things that I've done that's like so profound on how to make space for what's coming for you, for what you want. How to make space for what you want. See, a lot of us, we want things. You know, we see people that seem like they're out of our caliber. Men, we got it. Women, we got the same problem too. Us men, we see a voluptuous woman, beautiful. And you're like, man, maybe one day you can have somebody actually better for you. And I believe when you go to God and you tell him what you want and what you're seeking, not only does he give it to you, he gives you the right one that's for you. So I can get into details about even the vehicle and details about my wife and how it happened. And the story was just mind-blowing that we sat down together and figured out God had to do this. And when I got my truck and I'm sitting there looking for the truck and everybody's denying me, saying, no, this business is too fairly new and this, that, and the third. And then the minute I gave up is when something in my soul said, look down in your phone one more time. And I get the vehicle that I want. Not only do I get the vehicle I want, I get the package that I want. The price point that I want. Fully loaded. Everything that I'm looking for inside. This is how God works. And a lot of times the things that you're desiring, sometimes you just gotta put it out there, release it, pray on it, release it, and then scale back. They say if you love something, let it go. If it come back to you as yours, let it go. You put it out there, you pray for it, and then watch how it works. It didn't come when I wanted it to come. The wife didn't come within the 2 years of the struggle of the dating pool that I was in. The car came out 2021. I didn't get it to 2023. But it was the right time when it did come, because if I would have got it too early, I wouldn't have been able to handle it. I would have fumbled the ball, I would have dropped it. And you gotta be okay with that. But I prepared myself throughout the 2 years. I became better. So when it did arrive for me, I can handle it. Sometimes we want things to happen with instant gratification, and then you get it and it's too early, and then that's it. You get a short span of time with it, 5 months, 6 months. It's like some of the dudes I know, they get quick money and then they broke. You up 50,000 a day, tomorrow you down in your last 100. But the man that took the mountaintop, I asked my son this question, I'm gonna leave it right here. I tell my son, I said, it's $1 million on top of the mountain. On one side of the mountain, there's a man that got a ladder for you. On the other side, man, he got to scrape his knees to figure it out. He got the hacksaw and the ropes and everything. Which side you taking? He said, I'm gonna take the ladder. I said, wrong answer. He said, why would I take the hard way? I said, because when you get there, you'll never fall. You will appreciate that hard-ass road you took to get to that top, and you're gonna stay there. And if you do fall, you know how to get back up and do it again. Sometimes we taking an easy route and it feels good. They obtain what we wanted so quick. That instant gratification feels so good because you ain't have to work for it, but it also can be to your demise because you won't know how to keep it. That's why manipulation is one of the worst things you can ever do. Manipulation to get what you want is some of the worst things you can ever do. A man that works hard and goes hard for his and willing to take the road less traveled usually stay at the top. They stay there because they remember what it took to get there. That's why we run to work and be like, our boss is a jerk. Oh, these millionaires is asshole. He hard on people. Because he don't really want to hear excuses. They only sound good to you. I run a company right now, and I got rid of one of my drivers. And, you know, one of the biggest reasons why I got rid of him, I said, man, your tardiness is out of control. He said, what you talking about? I'm always on time. I said, no, that's the reason why. He said, what you mean? I said, because on time is late in this business. I got it on paper for you to be there 15 minutes early to attend to the customer. On time is late. Just gotta get more serious with ourselves. Everything that you're seeking is seeking you.